This is how you write an acid and metal reaction. Let's get started. Now, different acids produce different types of metal salts. Let's look at some of the acids that you will use for GCSE. So we have hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, and nitric acid. Now, based on the acid that you use, that will determine the last name of the salt, or otherwise called the suffix of the salt. So if you're using hydrochloric acid, then the last part of the salt will be a chloride. If you're using nitric acid, the last part of the salt will be called a nitrate. And if you're using sulfuric acid, the last part of the salt will be a sulfate. An interesting way of remembering how to write your metal and acid equation is using my nuclear family technique. The dad is always the acid, the mom is the metal, and the salt baby is the metal salt that is produced. And of course, we have hydrogen gas being formed. But before we get into this, let us do a quick recap. What is the general equation for a reaction between a metal and an acid? Pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. If your answer is B, you are indeed correct. Well done. Now let's get back to our equation. As I said before, the father is always the acid, and the father determines the child's last name. For the mother, who is the metal, she will give the child her first name. And of course, the salt baby will have both a first name and a last name at the end of this activity. So let's have a go at this one. So the father is hydrochloric acid. And if you remember from previously in the video, if the acid is hydrochloric acid, then the last name of the salt is, you are correct, it's a chloride. And remember I said that the mother gives the child her first name. So what's the name of this salt baby? If your answer is potassium chloride, you are indeed correct. Well done. And don't forget to add your hydrogen gas at the end. This is your time to shine. I'm going to place a few questions on the screen for you to complete. Please ensure that you pause the video, attempt the questions, and then we'll have a chat about it. Welcome back. So initially we have magnesium and sulfuric acid. Remember, the acid is always the father, so the father determines the child's last name. So if the father is sulfuric acid, what's the last name of the child again? Sulfate. So right away we can fill in the sulfate into the second or onto the second line here. And then the mother gives the child her first name. So what's the first name of the child? Magnesium. So name of the salt baby, or for the metal salt, if we're using scientific terminology, is magnesium sulfate. Be sure to mark your answers. And well done. You have just learned how to write a metal and acid equation. Well done, superstar.